How's it going, guys and girls? Hope you guys are having a great week. So it is that time of the month again, guys. It is time to talk about some of the biggest games coming out this month. So without further ado, let's jump straight in. Here are the 10 biggest games coming out in June 2023. Kicking us off this month is Street Fighter VI. This, of course, is an upcoming fighting game from Capcom, which, if reviews are to be believed, is an excellent game, continuing their fantastic track record with releases. The game is the 7th installment in the Street Fighter franchise, though actually promises to be more approachable to new players. Street Fighter VI will feature 3 main game modes: Fighting Ground, containing local and online versus battles, as well as training and arcade modes; World Tour, which is a single-player story featuring a customizable character where you get to explore Metro City and beyond, meet masters who will take you under their wing and teach you their style and techniques; and finally Battle Hub, which acts as an online lobby where players can gather and communicate, competing in ranked and casual matches and battle using their own avatars and participate in special events. Street Fighter VI will offer a roster of 18 fighters on launch, and definitely 2023 promises to be a great year for fighting game lovers, with the new Mortal Kombat and Tekken also lined up to release this year. Though Street Fighter VI will be kicking things off first. If you're interested, it released on the 2nd of June. The second game coming out this month is Diablo IV. This is an action RPG developed and published by Blizzard Entertainment. It is set in the Diablo series world of Sanctuary. Diablo IV takes place 50 years after the events of Diablo III: Reaper of Souls. Cultists have summoned the main antagonist and daughter of Mephisto, Lilith, who looks incredibly cool. Players create their character from one of 5 playable classes: Barbarian, Druid, Necromancer, Rogue, and Sorcerer. Series features such as replayable, procedurally generated dungeons and loot-focused character building will return, while new features such as an open world and player versus player interactions will be incorporated. The game can be played solo or with friends and will support cross-play and cross-progression on all available platforms. According to Blizzard, they will continue to support the game with new events, stories, seasons, rewards, and more in content drops and a season pass, which is to be added soon after release. I'll admit I haven't played any of the previous Diablo games, but Diablo IV may just be the jumping in point for me when it releases on the 6th of June. The third game coming out this month is Loop 8: Summer of Gods. This is a coming-of-age RPG set in 1980s rural Japan. You play as Nini, a new arrival in a 1980s rural Japanese town with a mysterious ability to loop time. Your every decision and relationship will affect the outcome of battles against the invading Kigai. Explore the town, befriend its people, and face off against the Kigai in turn-based battles where the outcomes depend on the relationships you've built and the decisions you've made. Use Nini's special connection to the gods to reset the world, with each loop allowing Nini and his friends to relive the month of August over and over until you get it right or the Kigai destroy the world. I'm a big fan of time loop mechanics in games. The whole concept reminds me heavily of Majora's Mask, which has me even more interested. If it sounds like something you would be interested in checking out, Loop 8: Summer of Gods releases on June 6. The fourth game coming out this month is Harmony: The Fall of Reverie. This is the newest story-focused adventure from Life is Strange developers Don't Nod. Within the game, you play as Polly, who returns home after a few years abroad to look for her missing mother. She quickly realizes that her hometown has drastically changed. A mega corporation named MK is using its power to control the population, and her community is in danger. She soon discovers that she has a gift of clairvoyance that connects her to Reverie, the realm of the aspirations of humanity: glory, bliss, power, chaos, bond, and truth. In this world, Polly becomes Harmony, a goddess who has the power to choose the aspiration that will ultimately rule over Reverie and restore the delicate balance between the deity's world and ours. As Polly or Harmony, each action you take will affect both worlds and send you down down sprawling narratives paths, see into the future and explore the consequences of possible choices in the inaugural, a game board and visual representation of Polly's gift of foresight. Harmony: The Fall of Reverie is an interesting looking title which is set for release on the 8th of June. The fifth game coming out this month is Layers of Fear. This is actually a remake of the first two games with an expanded narrative. Layers of Fear is often considered to be one of the benchmark titles for narrative-driven first-person psychological horror games. This version of the game is actually considered to be the definitive way to experience this critically acclaimed franchise, as it features Layers of Fear and Layers of Fear 2, as well as all DLCs, including the new The Final Note DLC that will give you a new perspective on the Layers of Fear storyline and the never-before-told story of the writer, which will tie everything together. Built on Unreal Engine 5, Layers of Fear supports ray tracing, HDR and 4K resolution to make these stunning visuals and your nightmarish experience as immersive and realistic as possible. If you've never played Layers of Fear before or want to experience this iconic first-person horror series in all its remastered glory with new, never-before-seen added content, it is set for release on June 15th. The sixth game coming out this month is Aliens Dark Descent. This is an upcoming real-time strategy video game developed by Tindalos. Set 20 years after the events of Alien 3, a team of colonial marines must stop a xenomorph outbreak while gathering resources to repair their Ortego spacecraft in the moon base of Leth. Dark Descent is a real-time strategy game played from a top-down perspective. Players need to issue commands to a squad of 4 colonial marines who must battle the xenomorphs and rogue agents from the Weyland-Yutani Corporation. The game features 5 starting character classes, each with their own unique weapons and abilities. Players need to maintain not only the physical health but also the mental health of these characters. Their combat performance may be affected if they are put under too much strain. They may miss their shots, behave irrationally, or even sabotage the player's mission. Squad members also may die permanently after being attacked. The marriage of top-down real-time strategy gameplay with the world of Aliens seems like a match made in heaven, and I guess we'll know how good a match it is when it releases on the 20th of June. The 7th game coming out this month is Crash Team Rumble. This is an upcoming online multiplayer game developed by Toys for Bob and published by Activision. The gameplay pits 2 teams of 4 players against each other as they stockpile Wumpa fruit and deposit them at delegated drop-off zones, while impeding the opposing team's efforts. A number of Crash Bandicoot characters are playable, including Crash, Cortex, Coco, Dingodile, Brio and Torna. Each character has unique skills and abilities with which to battle the opposing team, and the character roster is divided into 3 roles: blocker, booster and scorer. Finally, the game will apparently support cross-platform play when it releases on the 20th of June. The 8th game coming out this month is Tripang II. This is a gory, action-packed FPS from developer Tripang Studios and published by Team 17. Set in the distant future, you play as an escaped soldier who has no memories of their past life, but is infused with supernatural abilities. Revenge is on your mind, and you'll stop at nothing to get what you want. Deliver devastating punches, sneak around in the shadows, wield explosive weapons, and give the bad guys a taste of their own medicine. Offering an explosive single-player campaign, players will need to master their superhuman strength and speed to knock waves of heavily armed mercenaries back, slow down time to dodge rapid-fire bullets, and use cloaking to become invisible. The gameplay looks visceral and fun. If you're interested, there is a playable demo on Steam that you can check out first before choosing whether to buy the game when it releases on the 21st of June. The 9th game coming out this month is Final Fantasy 16. This, of course, is an upcoming action RPG from Square Enix. The 16th game in the series, it sees a return to a dark fantasy setting for the franchise. The game is set in Valisthea, a world divided between 6 nations who hold power through access to magical mother crystals and dominance. These are humans who act as hosts for each nation's icon. Tensions between the nations escalate as a malady dubbed the Blight begins consuming the land. You play as Clive Rossfield, guardian to his younger brother Joshua, who witnesses his kingdom destroyed and goes on a revenge quest in pursuit of the dark icon Ifrit. Directed and produced by the legendary Yoshi P, who is often credited with the revival and success of the massively popular Final Fantasy XIV, Final Fantasy XVI is taking the franchise in an interesting and new direction in terms of its combat and gameplay. Throwing away the turn-based and ATB gauge systems from games like Final Fantasy VII Remake, Final Fantasy XVI will be a purely action RPG with the focus more on action, akin to Devil May Cry. Players take control of protagonist Clive Rossfield and a rotating party of AI-controlled companions. Clive can utilize the power of the game's many icons to expand his arsenal of attacks as he battles monsters, enemies, and powerful dominance. Combat is entirely in real time, focusing on dodges, combos, and special moves. During key moments in the story, players will also get to experience epic icon battles, which pit icon against icon in monumental, visually spectacular clashes which put you in the heart of the epic action. While many hardcore Final Fantasy fans are unsure about this move towards action-heavy combat and away from more traditional RPG elements, I'm actually excited to get hands-on with the game, which looks like a lot of fun, and I'm even more excited to experience the story on offer here when it releases on June the 22nd. And finally, the last game coming out this month is Ghost Trick Phantom Detective. This is a HD remaster of the 2010 original. Ghost Trick Phantom Detective is a classic puzzle-solving mystery adventure directed by Ace Attorney creator Shu Takumi. This long-awaited HD remaster features upgraded visuals and sound and new gallery content. Ghost Trick's story centers on the amnesiac ghost of the recently deceased protagonist Sissel and his struggle to discover who he was and how he died. The player, assuming the role of Sissel, must perform various ghost tricks to solve puzzles and navigate the land of the living in spectral form. During gameplay segments, players can swap at will between the land of the living, where time flows naturally, and the ghost world, in which time is stopped. Much of the plot is driven by Sissel's ability to possess corpses. When he does this, he can return to the time 4 minutes before the corpse's death. In these 4 minutes, Sissel can attempt to use his ghost tricks to alter the situation and ultimately change the future by saving the person's life. If you're interested in checking out Ghost Trick, it releases across multiple platforms on the 30th of June. So there you go, guys. Those are just some of the biggest games coming out this month in June. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Are there any games coming out this month that you are definitely going to be picking up and playing? If there's any games I haven't mentioned on this list that you think are worth a mention, please do put those in the comment section below. Anyway, hope you guys found this video useful, interesting, and informative. If you did, remember to hit that like button and subscribe, and remember to ding that notification bell so you always get updated information and when I upload new content. Anyway, thank you so much as always for your support. It is massively appreciated. Any way you can support the channel, it really does matter. It really does count. So thank you so much. Hope you guys have a great week, of course. Take care, everyone. And as always, happy gaming. Bye, guys. I should go.